Good evening. Good evening. And what a fantastic Friday evening it is. It's a great, great night to be on American Hammers TV. Sally's here with me. There he is over there. Which way? This way? See, we have to point in the strangest direction to be able to point to you. There he is right there. We should have a couple more people joining as well. I think Danny said he would come on, and hopefully maybe John Nolan as well, Hammer Shots champion. But until then, if you guys are watching, drop us questions or comments, and we'll definitely interact with the chat room tonight. So listen, it's a special Friday night edition of West Ham Wednesday night because we won, and I think this was a very tricky game for us on a lot of levels. And basically, I have nothing else to do except to come on here and do this on Friday night. So I thought, let's do it. I have Selly. I have with me tonight. I have this is a Down East cider from here in Boston, in my pickled wrinkle pint glass from Maine. The Down East cider from here in Boston, which I will be enjoying. The Winter Blend, it's called. So hang on, let's get Danny in here. Hang on, here we go. Danny, how you doing, my friend?
Doing good. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yeah, we're on. We're live. We're doing it.
Let's do it. I'm already in there.
You're already in there. I was just saying, I brought my Winter Blend Down East cider from Boston. Now they pay us nothing for me to say all this. There's no reason for me to. I'm just telling you this because I like it. That's all.
Nice. Yeah. No, I was at the beverage store the other day. And was looking for my favorite kinds of beers are stouts or nitro stouts.
Yes.
And just happened to come across. Never heard of it, but it's called New Holland. Dragon's Milk White.
Where is that made? Where does that come from?
I'm not 100% sure if it says on the bottle. Michigan, Holland. Michigan.
Michigan. Oh, that makes sense because that's all Dutch country in Michigan. Michigan actually has a lot of great beers. That's Bell's comes out of Michigan and a couple of others. I see John Nolan's trying to get in, but he's not it's not working right now. So hopefully Nolan will come in for us in a minute. I'm gonna tell him. I'm gonna tell him on the chat. Okay. Anyway, so that's what you got tonight from Michigan. And what did you say it is? It's a stout?
Yeah, it's a white stout. I never had one before, so that's why I grabbed it. Yeah, it's really smooth. It says it's 6%, but you couldn't tell. I downed hope my parents aren't listening, but I downed 4 of these when I bought them, and I felt just fine the other day.
Oh, that's awesome.
So I mainly got them as a treat for being done with finals.
What your parents get upset with you, Selly? You are a veteran of the Air Force. You are I think your late 20s, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, 29.
29. Surely your mom and dad could handle it if you had a couple of beers, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm just glad my parents didn't live in Paris when I lived in Paris because there were some really unfortunate nights, especially with the rugby crowd. But anyway, so as I was saying earlier, I'll skip all the stuff about our website and all that. You know what to do. We were all just in the mood to talk about this. A great win, and I think Danny's got a Heineken there. Is that a Heineken you got?
Yes, sir. Not the first one either.
Nice. Heineken is it's funny.
He's getting ready for the Champions League.
He's getting ready for the Champions League. Well, we all are. We're all getting ready for the Champions League. Heineken in the U.S. is like a premium beer. You know what I mean? It's a swanky beer. In Holland, it's like a run-of-the-mill beer. Everybody drinks it. Don't get me wrong, but it's not like expensive. It's like every bar has a Heineken. You know, we had it at the rugby club when I played rugby. We drank Heineken for €1 a pint. Just pounded them. It was great.
Oh,
good
wow.
Time. Good times back then. And here he is.
Come on!
Oh, look at that kit! Look at that!
Nice.
He's all swank in his relevant, sartorially relevant third kit there that we wore tonight for the first time.
All about the kit, Lee. It's all about the kit. I don't buy many kits, and when I do, they're winners.
Did you get a name on the back?
No. I went completely blank. I didn't even get the sponsor on there.
Oh, I like that. Now, see, I think this season I'm going to go sponsorless. I do. The problem is, as you know, I buy my kits at the end of the season, so I get whatever's left over. You know what I mean? I go when they're half price in May. That's when I buy them. So I always get whatever's left over my size, which is who knows. This one is this is the custom one that they did with Iron Maiden. So.
I saw a crazy stat today talking about third kits that said this is our first win in the third kit since 2015.
No, we won in the third kit last season. I'm sure we did. We won in that dark blue third kit with the pink on the shoulders because I have that one. We beat Southampton. I'm pretty sure of it. I'm pretty sure of it. Other than that, I believe that. Other than that, I think that's probably true.
Yeah, we beat Southampton. Anderson scored a couple.
That's right. I was going to go 99% sure we beat Southampton in that third kit last season. Anyway, so we're celebrating. John, do you have a beverage? This is my winter blend down east cider from Boston. Yes. Winter blend. It's snowy outside here. It's cold.
Yeah.
What do you have? Is that one of your own that you have there?
No, I did it before. I had a house ginger saison that I had made, and that went down a bit too quickly. So now I'm on to the other stuff. And
well, Sully's parents are very disappointed in you for drinking so much. Don't let Sully's dad. He just had his birthday. Don't ruin his birthday 2 days later.
Right.
So, Sully and I, before we went on tonight, we were laughing about this because we did our show Wednesday night. Danny and Sully and I did the show Wednesday night. It was a great show. We enjoyed it. It was great. And then Thursday morning, I wake up and the first thing I see Thursday morning is Arthur Masuaku in a hospital bed saying, "Hey, I've had surgery, guys. Be out for a little while." And it's like everything we're talking about on Wednesday, just it didn't matter anymore, So I will not lie to you. I freaked out. All right. You can look at my Twitter tweets from the last couple of days. I freaked out. I thought this game was going to be a disaster. Masuaku out, Antonio still out. When I saw we had gone 4 at the back with Cresswell at left back, I thought this is insane. This is like a nightmare. Like if somebody wake me up from this nightmare because it's going to happen again, But it was a good performance today, a really good performance. I thought anyway. Again, chances maybe had some chances we should have scored. Allaire had an overhead kick that was nice. Fornals had a chance that missed by inches. And I thought we were better than they were. I thought, Fabianski legitimately saved the penalty. VAR went against us again, but we didn't drop our shoulders. We didn't slump. We didn't get down there against Manchester United. We kept our heads up. We stayed in the game, and I thought we mostly bossed that game. I don't know what the statistics say, but that's what it looked like to me. What did you guys think? Give me your impression of what happened. Danny, why don't you tell us first?
I think I was a little bit nervous when Leeds scored immediately because I think off air the other day I said to you guys that we could lose that game 3 or 4-0. It's just
you did. I wasn't going to mention that, okay, because you said it off the air, but he did. So the first thing Danny said when we stopped the show was like, "We're going to lose 4-0." And he knows his football, so it had me worried. See, you made me worry. It's really your fault.
So I think it was a legitimate save. I think his heel was on the line. Clear penalty. Haller's bad control led to it. A lot of space in between. I think we really missed the fifth defender in the build-up to that goal because that slot ball is where Cresswell would be.
Yep.
But overall, I think it was a great performance. Again, we didn't take our chances, but Leeds were not as clinical as Man United.
Right.
Fornals still can't put the ball in the net. Haller,
but Fornals can. He can.
Well,
he just hasn't.
Yeah, he just needs to do it a lot more. He should have a lot more goals this season.
Yeah, he should.
And
I agree.
Haller needs tape or Velcro stuck to his boots or something. The guy can't control the ball. He's very wasteful. Yeah. I thought Ben Rama was amazing today.
Ben Rama was as advertised for me, and I knew he would be. I wanted Ben Rama to start. We all wanted Ben Rama to start. What terrified me was 4 at the back because last time we saw that was Newcastle, first match of the season. It was a disaster. Tell me this, Danny. Though, tell me about Allaire overall. I thought in the second half he looked better. I thought on Ogbonna's goal he drew a couple of defenders with him coming across the box. I thought he made an impact even if he didn't put it in the back of the net. I'm trying to be positive.
The positives are he was where he needed to be and he had the chances. He made himself available to create, to come up with some chances. But for what we're paying for him, he's got to do better in those situations.
That's true.
His hold up plays got to be better.
Yep.
His control today reminded me a little bit of Colton Cole.
Oh, that's harsh, Danny. Now, I love Carlton Cole, okay? I love Carlton Cole, but his first touch was, imperfect.
Like I said, for what we paid for him, we need more out of him. He shouldn't be losing those aerial duels against that centre back that's shorter than him. And, I don't think he had a terrible game. We won the game, but I think if we lost the game, a lot of us would be disappointed with Haller's performance today.
That's fair. John, give us your impressions.
Yeah, I mean,
your swanky new third kit, Mr. Field.
Yeah. Listen, this was given to me by Mr. Adam Frankel for winning hammer shots. This was the grand prize. So
whoa! What do I get for finishing second? All right, legitimately finishing second. Then what do I get? I get nothing. Adam.
Yeah, exactly. You got to finish first. So he gave me this kit. You can thank today's win on Frankel.
I did technically kill him the first time I played. So
he
did actually die and come back. So anyway. It's a nice kit. Go ahead.
So on Haller specifically, right? He's at fault for the first goal. If you ask me, his hold-up play was so bad that he immediately sprung the ball over, and it was simple through ball.
Yep.
Throughout the rest of the match, his hold-up play has to be better. If the strategy is pinging balls into him, he was turning everything right back over. So as our midfield was moving up, trying to meet him where he was, it was already going back behind them within seconds. So it was an issue. It was probably our biggest issue on what overall was a pretty professional performance. That was the sour mark. Now, saying that, he was in the right position to score. If he scores 1, 2, maybe 3 goals, and that's how many chances he had that he could have scored, we're talking about it completely differently, aren't we? So
if he hits that overhead kick, John, he's a legend, right?
I appreciated it. I appreciated it, but at the same time, he had so much time to turn and actually pick a spot on that one.
Yep.
He may not have known that. He doesn't know what's over his shoulders, so he's taking what's in front of him. But I think he could have done a little bit better. And again, on a different day, he scores 2 of those at least. And then we're calling him man of the match. He's bagged the brace, and we won that one, 4-1. So, but overall, it was a good performance, I thought. And Leeds honestly reminded me a bit like the old West Ham, where anything could happen. A bit lightweight through the middle, but exciting to watch. I mean, as a neutral, I thought neutrals probably would have loved that game.
You know who they remind me of, John? The Gianfranco Zola West Ham, because they go for it. They go for it. They don't necessarily have the players to go for it, but they go for it anyway. I like Bielsa. I think he's a good manager. And, as you said, they're unpredictable, but they're entertaining to watch. And they missed a couple of chances too. I know who was their attacking midfielder? I can't remember. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. Anyway,
that Rodrigo header at the end should have been a
goal. The Rodrigo header at the end. And also there was another one.
There was that cutback to around about the penalty spot as well.
Yes. And he's standing there. Bamford, that's who it was. Bamford, thank you. I couldn't think of his name. Bamford's standing there with all the time in the world, and he basically just boots it. So it was a missed opportunity on their part because he could have easily planted that in the back of the net, I thought. But they're not Manchester United. They don't have Pogba and Rashford. They have Bamford.
Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, it was a match where we were always going to get chances, and it was who was going to be more clinical. They were going to get chances, we were going to get chances, and who can put them away. So I'm happy that was us. I think overall we had the better chances. I think on average overall, even though they dominated possession. Yeah. We should be happy we come away with that. It feels good. If that feels like a good win, it's finally a win where we've bounced back after getting a shitty result the week before.
Exactly.
We've turned around, got the mentality right, and gone out and done the job. So I'm happy.
We get a terrible result against Manchester United, and we talked about that game on Wednesday, and how I was very disappointed with it. But forgetting about all that, we have a bad result. We go down through an early penalty, through a second penalty, which I thought was bogus, the fact that that was retaken. But anyway, we go down within 5-6 minutes through an early penalty. And again, as you said, we didn't slump, our shoulders didn't slump, our heads didn't droop. We stayed in the game. We played 90-plus minutes, and that's what I like to see. And that's what I did not see from West Ham in previous years that I think Moyes has brought to the team. Anyway, Sally, go ahead. What do you think?
Oh, Lee, sorry, one more. Can I go one more? Sorry, Sally.
We got tons of time. Go ahead.
I'm going to give props while I can give it. And I'm going to give it to the ref. He let play continue.
Yes.
Which you don't see too often. We're too busy complaining after, especially coming off the back of Aston Villa a few weeks ago. Everybody was on the fucking deck the whole game.
Yeah.
That was good to watch. It was like a proper football match. Sorry, Sally.
No, you're good. Yeah, I think. I mean, I don't know if necessarily the weather had a lot to do with it, but I think the first half for us in particular, I felt like we were playing too much to get over the Manchester United game. You know, I felt everybody's touches were too heavy. Everybody was trying to be the hero. And I know I said this in our group chat earlier too, but it just seemed like everybody was trying to be the guy to get the goal back, if that makes sense, you know. Yeah, I mean the retake, you know, I was at work when when the game was on, so I didn't even see the penalty until like just after he scored it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I was watching the replay, you know, for the VAR, and I didn't see, you know, well, I thought if anything, it was probably because Declan entered the box too soon. But
I wondered about that too. Yeah.
So I don't know how you could say that he was off early, but whatever, it is what it is. But I think that's one benefit, you know, whenever you're the team that doesn't score early, is you still have, you know, 85 minutes to get at least one goal. Yeah. You know, so it was nice to see that we did take that chance and equalize it by halftime. I think the thing with the Haller overhead kick wasn't even the fact that he tried to take it. I think that save was just incredible.
It was a great save.
For him being about 10 yards out, you know, the keeper had a lightning quick reaction, you know, to, you know, John, as you said, you know, probably with him 9 out of 10 times is probably in the back of the net.
He had a good game, that keeper.
Yeah, no, he had a really
he's a terrible keeper too. He's not good.
I think he's their backup, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think he is too. He's been out of form, and he had a good game. So, you know.
Yeah, I mean, and you know, if the Godfather Tim is watching, I want him to pop on and say something positive about Fabianski.
Yes,
but
I'm going to send him a message right now and see if he'll log in. All right, since with Danny hopefully will be back, he's probably got a connection thing or something. But anyway.
Yeah,
I'm going to try to get hold of him right now. Yeah.
The first half was just really sloppy. I thought, honestly, Leeds were probably unlucky to not have more. But the second half, I think the team talk at halftime, you could tell when they came out, you know, maybe with the exception of the first couple of touches that the team had, that they settled down. You know, the passes were cleaner. I know Haller didn't necessarily have the best hold-up play, but, you know, as we said, the whole game he was in the right spot.
Yeah.
You know, and one thing that I saw in the replay of the game was that Leeds give up 1 out of 6 goals that are scored against them are due to set pieces. And we got 2 goals off of corners today. So I thought that was really impressive.
I know that, and I give credit to the guys, the Hammers Chat guys, and a couple of other people were saying on we're saying on Twitter today that like this is going to be all about set pieces for us. And they were right. You know, 2 set pieces, two goals for us. Because the Leeds give up a lot of goals on set pieces, as you said.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get him, Ray. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know. He may be making his horror movie. I'm not sure. But anyway, I'm trying to get him. We'll see if he comes on. So
so I think the second half was just much improved, calmed down. You know, I think we're still – the one thing that I will say that this game reminded me of is the games against, you know, like Villa and Fulham, to where we didn't necessarily put our chances away, but we were – just good enough defensively to bother them going forward to where they couldn't get those clean looks.
Yep.
Today might not be indicative of that throughout, because Leeds did have some pretty wide open shots, you know, that they just missed, which, you know, happens. But at the same time, we didn't falter at all in the game, and I think, you know, I think we were deserving of the 3 points at the end of it.
Oh, I do too. And you know, I think that's what made me the happiest was that it's the Villa. I didn't feel as though we deserved the 3 points. Danny's internet went down, by the way, so he's trying to come back. So anyway, hopefully he'll be back soon. I didn't think we necessarily deserved 3 points against Villa. I was happy to get it, but we got a little bit lucky. Our performances had kind of been, you know, and then Manchester United, again, great first half. We had the second half capitulation, and I was starting to worry that we were falling back into an old pattern. What I liked best about this match was the way we stayed in it. The way we fought for 90 minutes, the way the players, you know, again, they never gave up. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that. That's nice. You can still get these probably if you want one for Christmas. I like these. Go to the Iron Maiden website. They're not West Ham. Go to the Iron Maiden website. Anyway, Yeah, I just like the fact that it was a fight back from us, and everything that went wrong, I thought against Manchester United kind of went right against Leeds, including getting a little bit lucky here and there.
You know what I really like, Lee, about this team and the way David Moyes has us set up? We start games fast. Finally.
Yes.
Finally, we start games fast, and we've never done that for years. We're always on the back foot right out the gate. Yep. And unfortunately, we had a shitty penalty decision. Well, it wasn't a bad decision, but we had an avoidable situation turn into a penalty, right? And kind of knocked us back today. But for the last few weeks, we start fast. We're at them straight away. We're on pace. We're not sluggish. We're not waiting 20 minutes in the game to get our foot on the ball and finally start working our way into the game. Like, they are ready to go. And that is a sign of professionalism that is very welcome for me.
Absolutely. It's a huge, huge difference from what we got from Pellegrini. I felt as though Pellegrini's teams took 15, 20 minutes to get settled. I think it's made an enormous difference. And I think, too, the fact that we were able to adapt and absorb some changes and problems, I don't know what the situation with Masuaku was inside the team. I don't know who knew about his injury. I don't know who knew that he was going to need or have surgery at some point. I don't know. He said his knee had been bothering him for 2 years and that he knew he'd have to have surgery at some point. And I guess it just got to a breaking point. He was in training on Wednesday. He was in the hospital on Thursday. So something snapped. But what 2 years he knew about this, and we did nothing apparently about it. We did nothing to cover that position. We did nothing. There was no contingency. So, and I don't blame Moyes for that necessarily. I don't know how much he had to do with that. But what I like is the fact that we had an injury, a key injury to a major player that was going to change our whole formation that's worked so well. And we adapted, and it worked. It worked. We went back to 4 at the back, and it worked. I have to give Moyes an enormous amount of credit for having the courage to do that. I was thinking you bring Diop in at center back, and then you push Cresswell to left wing back, and you use the same formation. You put Cresswell in for Masuaku, put Diop in at center back. Diop wasn't even in the team. I don't know if he's injured. I don't know what's going on there. He's been playing at striker in training apparently, which I don't know what to think about that. But he wasn't even in the team. Craig freaking Dawson was on the bench, which is terrifying. But I just like the fact we adapted. I don't know if you guys have any thoughts about that, or what your thought was when you saw the whole Masuaku thing. What you thought was going to happen?
Yeah, I guess it was just kind of curious to see how they were going to set up for the game. I think with Masuaku out, that there's no effective way that you can do the formation that we've been doing, because Masuaku's role in that formation is such a key role, and we don't necessarily have somebody that can fill those shoes. I will say, John earlier before the game, he did make a good point as saying that you could put Benrahma in Fornal's spot and put Fornal's in Masuaku's spot, which was really interesting and, could have worked.
Yep.
But I think one thing that was really interesting, outside of the formation change, is the work rate that Haller was showing today. Like, that man was all over the pitch today.
I agree with you.
And not only that, but I think after today, there's no way. Well, maybe with the next couple games, but I don't think you have any justifiable reason to keep Benrahma out of the starting 11 now.
No, absolutely not.
He looked creative. He was attacking. He, like I said, in the first half, a lot of people, their passes weren't the greatest, but, he looked to pass before he ever looked to shoot, which I think is the exact, not saying this in a negative way, but it's the exact opposite for Bowen, where Bowen looks to shoot first and then sometimes pass later.
Yep. Bowen looks to shoot
but
first.
I think they complement each other really well.
Benrahma liked the shot as well today, and I tell you what, he almost scored a couple. So I don't really mind him taking. Yeah, he was. Those were not bad decisions.
Yeah, there was one moment where I thought Benrahma, he had the ball on the edge of the box and he had a lot of space, and I thought he probably took too long to shoot. But then I think there was an angle behind him to where when he probably could have shot first time, there was a couple people in his way. But either way, he looks dangerous, and there's no way that we can keep him off of the field now, in my opinion.
The guy's played like 180, 200 minutes of Premier League football, period. But he looks really good. He again, he looks like a veteran. And some of those shots that curled just wide, those are gonna dip in. eventually. What do you think about him, John? What do you think about we made the entire nation of Algeria, the whole of Algeria was, finally excited for us instead of, wanting to, they didn't like us very much. We wouldn't put him on the pitch. So,
yeah, I think he was good enough. I don't think it was the greatest performance ever. He showed some nice touches. His awareness wasn't quite up to scratch, I don't think. He looked like a very good Lanzini to me. He looked like the Lanzini that we've kind of been wanting for the last 5-6 years, where somebody can get on the ball, take on a man. And the one piece that was missing today was he wasn't getting the ball out from his feet quick enough. And getting those passes off quick enough, or getting that shot off quick enough, and that'll all come. I mean, the confidence to do that was there. I'm happy to see that. Happy to see the players around him trust him, keep giving him the ball, letting him do his thing. And I thought he had a good performance. It certainly wasn't a bad performance. Could have capped it off with a goal. Would have been nice, but he did all right. He wasn't really given much defensive duties, which that was probably the most impressive thing for me today, as you were touching on before, Lee, was changing the formation, changing the structure, and we still looked pretty defensively solid against a team that knows nothing but attack. I mean, that's what Leeds do. They just attack. So that was probably my biggest takeaway from today, was just how we were able to slide over, put Cresswell back at left back, and just make things work. And hopefully that continues against other teams. I mean, we'll see how that goes. The whole Cresswell Masuaku kind of pairing was really, for me at least, it was a reaction to the fact that we don't have one good left back. We have two half good left backs they're half good at being a left back.
That's true. It takes two people to play that position for us because we never bought a proper left back.
Right.
That's true. Now Tim is here. No, he's not on he hasn't. Here he is. Tim, come on. He made a save. Tim, give him a break, man. He made that save. He made that save. It got taken away from him by VAR. He made that save, dude. I respect you, man. You said this is all you're doing, and we love you, but come on. Yeah, I can't agree with that. I can't in good conscience agree with that.
Congratulations, Clive Dawes, by the way.
I was just going to bring this up. I'm glad you did this, John. Sorry, Sally. It's gone away for a minute there. Yeah, you guys can all read this. I didn't want to let this go by without mentioning it. This is amazing. Heart removed for repair, like it's a carburetor or something. Aorta cut in a 2-inch section replaced. Clive, brother, I am so glad you're alive, my friend. I mean, seriously, I am so glad you're alive. God bless you, man. That's an amazing story. So
that's what it takes to get us in fifth place, man. Hope you get your next surgery scheduled.
Yeah. Clive, if you have to do it again, you got to take one for the team. Okay, that's how this works. All right.
Yeah, fucking hell, Clive. Come on, we got to be in first. I want to see us win the league in my lifetime.
Yeah, get something else taken out and fixed. Maybe a kidney, or maybe like a spleen. You only have one spleen. Maybe the spleen. You get the spleen stitched up.
Lee, I think you muted yourself, or your mic might have been disconnected.
We just talk shit on Lee while he's still
right, while he can't defend himself.
Exactly. What do you make of us defensively, Sally? Was that surprising to you? Do you think anybody struggled? And what about
there it is. I'm back.
Angelo Ogbonna now for me is as good as peak James Collins in the air and twice the player on the ground.
Yeah, no, Angelo Ogbonna he's been rock steady for a while, and I think if it wasn't for the fact that Declan has been in such good form, which has Ogbonna, probably maybe due to the fact that Declan is one of our own, Ogbonna probably would be captain for me, if I'm being completely honest with you. Dude, he puts it all out there for the team. He's out there every game.
Ray, this is kind of brutal, but kind of sweet at the same time.
But yeah, I mean, he's probably first on the team sheet. You know exactly what he brings, and he's going to give you 100% every game. And he's going to celebrate every win, and he probably puts every loss on himself. If we're being completely honest, with his role in the defense. But it's nice to see him getting on the goals. And he's definitely somebody that will be tough to replace whenever that time comes.
Where does he rank among our goal scorers this season now? I think he has 2.
Mm.
Probably puts him like tied for 3rd or something like that.
Yeah, probably like 4th or 5th, to being honest. I don't know.
Mean, probably 4th or 5th. I think he's probably behind Allaire, I think, and Owen and Souček,
Yeah.
But
I think that's probably it, to being honest.
He's a threat, though, isn't he? He's good.
Yeah.
It's another option.
And the great thing is he gets better. You know what I mean? He gets better. And how old is Ogbonna now? I mean, he's been with us for a while.
Like 32, maybe?
I'd have to look this up. Of course, those defenders can, they have a little more of a shelf life generally than forwards do, or guys who play up front. I just typed in Ogbonna. There we go. He is 32. Hey, you're right, Sally. He's 32. Yeah, you're right.
Shout out to Ray because he had him on his slideshow the other day. Even though Ray put down the wrong name.
Ray got the wrong number. Did you see Ray's bet today, by the way? I got to call Ray out because he was trying to call me out for not being on Hammer the Point.
Can you explain to me what his bet was? Because
Ray put on a 0-0 draw for West Ham and also put on Ogbonna to score.
All right.
Here you go.
Because he sent us the slip. You know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean, I'm not really a bettor, so I didn't really understand how it worked. But let me see if I can. Here we go. Let's have a look at this, Ray. Let's have a look at this. All right. Yeah. Let's just call Ray out a little bit here. There we go. I don't know if you can see this very well. Probably can't see.
No draw. 3-3.
No draw. 3-3, and then he's got Balbuena.
Oh, Balbuena.
Yeah, he's got Balbuena to score to time of the match.
Wasn't too far off. Balbuena, I think, did have a pretty nice shot.
He hit the post, didn't he?
I think so.
I was happy we hit the post again because West Ham Clips gets another post.
Yes. Oh, yes. West Ham Clips is the best thing on Twitter, by the way. West Ham Clips is, if you don't follow West Ham Clips on Twitter, and I'm sure everybody does, but you have to because whoever that guy is, he's brilliant. He's hilarious. He's fantastic. Oh, wait a minute. Here we go. Oh, look out.
He's going to come explain himself.
Is this Ray Force's music?
What are you in?
With the bathroom.
He's coming in.
All that time to get proper, just do on the road.
It's our PlayStation bathrobe. Look at him.
Look at him. It's the Playboy Mansion.
I had to come and justify my bets because they were terrible. And it was accidental. I went to put West Ham to win, and it ended up being Leeds to win. I don't know what I did.
Do it more often.
No, I looked at on 40 quid.
Hey Ray, you might as well tell us what you thought of the game and all that while you're here. Stay with us. Hang out with Danny. Poor Danny's internet has gone down. I don't know if he's coming back or not. So.
Oh, God.
I'll stay.
That's a bummer.
We take any stragglers from the chat room. If anybody from the chat room wants to come in, let us know.
You want to come in? Yeah. We can get like 10 people. We could get more people on StreamYard than you're allowed to have in a single place in England right now. So I'll put if we get more people out here, I'll put a mask on and we'll keep going. Let's do this. They actually probably make the show a lot better.
I do want Ray to explain what he was talking about earlier with Haller having a poor game.
Oh, you don't think that Haller?
This is true too. That's true too.
Oh,
there you go. There you go. Whoever that was, Ray,
genius.
Thank her for that because
it's my American Hammers.
It's a little more coverage, is what it is. So.
Yeah.
Now we see who really runs the bar.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Well, I know how that goes. Yeah, you got to hire.
Yeah, I thought for the first 40 minutes, for the first half hour, for the first half, Haller was shocking. Like he gave away the first goal. His touches were poor. He weren't holding up the ball anywhere good. So even the second half, it wasn't until about like the 90th minute when he actually done some business. I was like, what?
I mean, to be fair, I don't know if you've been in for the whole show, but I did say earlier that I think the first half, was pretty bad for everybody, with the exception of probably Benrahma and not to include Fabianski, but. I just thought everybody's touches were heavy. Everybody was putting too much on the ball. All the through balls were too heavy. Excuse me. Shots are shots, but I think there was a lot more. This would be beautiful if this goes in kind of shots. Then this is probably a quality shot to make. But I think everybody just settled down in the second half, Haller is not completely not at fault because he did have, some pretty poor passes.
No, sorry, come on, the penalty.
Yeah, sure, but I get that. But I mean, he was close to almost recovering that twice. He almost made that up for himself twice. With the turnaround that he clearly messed up, and then the backhand or the overhead kick, which was just a really nice save. So, I mean, he gave it away, sure. But, I mean, at the same time, VAR honestly was the one that gave the goal away, if we want to be honest. But at the same time, I think the first half was poor for, almost the whole team going forward, not necessarily defensively, but going forward.
I disagree. I thought our first half was quite good, I thought defensively, I was really pleased with our defense, considering we dropped to a 4 at the back.
Yeah, no, defensively we were great. I'm just saying moving forward in the first half, we were not that great. Yeah.
I feel like Ronnie, right off to Wolf for a sec. Sorry. I was thinking Soufal. I was really happy with Soufal. And I was watching Gonzo earlier and he was saying, he thought it was poor. I was like, what? Are we watching the same game?
I didn't think so. There's been a lot of people been down on Soufal lately, and I think he's still very good.
I don't know why.
I had no problem with him at all. I mean, if you're going to point out,
I was going to say I do think he should have got subbed off against Man United because I think Rashford, and it's no offense to him, Rashford is a world class player. Right. And he just got outpaced and outdone by Rashford. If he gets outdone by players like that, then you've got paid $5 million for him, whatever it was.
Yeah, well, that's a good point. I mean,
Ray, get it together, man. It's like 2 a.m. You're all over the place.
Dude, Ray's at the Playboy man. He's hanging out in his bathroom like Hef. He's like Hef in the smoking jacket. You know what I mean? You need an ascot and a pipe. Actually, could you get an ascot and a pipe? Because that would be
happy we can only see the top half. I'm a little bit worried about what's going on underneath.
I don't know. I mean,
that's a good freeze, bro.
Oh, he froze. It's all happening down below.
Yeah.
It's that's where it's all hanging out. That's where it's all hanging out.
Got the egg sandwich up top and a sausage fucking sarnie underneath.
That's right. Just the meat and 2 veg. Just the meat and 2 veg down on the bottom.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
I think one thing that's.
Go ahead. Sorry. I was gonna ask Ray. What are you dining on, Ray? Hang on. Sorry. What is that you got there?
Egg sarnie.
Oh, is that what you got? Okay. All right. So go ahead, Stanley. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was going to say. I think, and I've said this in the past too, but it's really nice to see that this team has the fortitude, if you will, to win games like this. Because I don't know if losing this game would have been overly harsh on us. I thought a draw. Anytime you can get points on the road, you'll take them every time.
Sure.
But I mean, the fact that it was like John said earlier, this was a fantastic game for a neutral to watch. But as a fan with a vested interest, you're until that final whistle goes off, you're like biting your nails off. But we kept fighting. We kept going forward. We kept creating chances. I think that's one thing. Granted, we haven't converted a lot of them in the past maybe 5 games, but we've sure as hell created a bunch of chances, that are sooner or later going to start going in. So I think that's a very positive sign. Frustrating when they don't go in and when you lose, but to be fair, I mean we've only lost one of those games, where we're not converting.
Yeah.
But I mean, just the fact that we're in this game for 90 minutes is great.
We've been pretty efficient too with our chances last few games. I mean, this one we had way more and probably not as efficient as we could have been. But story of our season so far is being pretty efficient with what we got and creating really good quality chances that are going to put you in a position to score goals. So I'm just fucking happy. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm happy. I don't know what this feeling is. This isn't right for a West Ham supporter. I'm just happy. We're doing the right things.
This is why I had a meltdown on Twitter today and Robbie, listen, I'm going to put this back up for a minute. I mean, this is how I feel, basically. We don't win games like this, all right? We don't win games like Villa. We don't win games like Sheffield United or Fulham. We always lose those games every time. We always lose them.
And we don't bury Leicester and Wolves either.
And we don't bury Leicester and Wolves, And yeah, every time, we find a way to do what we did against Manchester United, which is, fall apart for 10 or 15 minutes. So I'm starting to believe maybe this is the new West Ham. Maybe this really is, maybe it's a turning point under David Moyes. David Moyes got a lot of shit from our fans for a long time. Right? He did. And I'm going to defend myself. I wasn't one of them. I liked him for the first time he came and kept us up when Slav got sacked. I thought he should stay. I did. He got a lot of shit for a long time. What do you think of him now, Ray? Tell me, what do you think of him now? Charlie probably still doesn't like him if Charlie's still around. He was around earlier. Not Charlie Boyd, but Charlie, Walsh. Yeah.
So he's starting to grow on me in the last 3, maybe even 4 weeks. And it's not what he's doing, it's what he's saying and some of his actions with like his substitutions and stuff like that. So after games he's saying about like today, right? I totally agreed with what I'm saying. Ben Rama had a great game or good game, as John said, but there was times where he tried too much, he was too greedy, he wanted a bit of limelight for himself.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that was my issues with him. Apart from that, definitely should start next game, 100%. In the match conference, when we played Aston Villa, he come out and he was totally honest. He said we were shocking, which we could all see we were. And we need to work on it. He weren't one of these managers that come out and said, we got the win we needed to get through this game.
He doesn't do that. He doesn't do that. Yeah.
So I think he should get a new contract. And what concerns me is if the owners wait until the end of the season, come January, the performance of the players is going to start dropping off because they're going to be like, well, we don't know if this manager is going to be in it. Next season.
Yep. I would give him a new contract right now, but I thought should have. Listen, I will be. I'm wrong about so many things. All right, so many things I'm wrong about. But I thought we should have signed him to a 2-year contract when he came to us the first time, back when Slav got sacked.
Nah, I weren't keen.
Well, but no, fair enough. But I mean, I would give it to him now. John, Sully, what do you guys think about Moyes?
I mean, you could definitely see his effect on the team. I don't know if originally the idea to switch to a back five was on him or if it was one of the other coaches who was there while he was out with COVID.
Moyes has done that before, though. He did that at Everton as well. So I think
that's fair. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I think you could definitely tell that the players are buying in. I don't think you have. I think you can clearly see that they're playing for each other. And like I said, at the very beginning of the season, after the Leicester and Wolves game, that they were winning these games in spite of everything that the board tried to undermine in the offseason. That they were together. With, I mean, how many teams do you get players calling out management on social media? Like, it just doesn't happen. And your captain of all people,
right?
Right. But other than that, I mean, you could definitely see his effect on the team. I think he wants to be here, but I don't know. I have said in the past I'd wait until after, like, sometime during January to extend him for 2 reasons. One, I want to see how the team goes through December, because I think that's always a gauntlet. Because we could be 5th now, and then by the end of December, we could be in a relegation battle again. Not saying that that's going to be the case, but I'm just saying, earlier in the year.
Though Leeds could have caught us today, right?
Yeah, 100%. And it's crazy because we're 4 points out of first place or something like that. So
something like that, yeah.
I mean, we have 20 points through the first 11 games or something. That's great. And
I think it's 12, 20 through 12, yeah. Which
so, I mean, this is our second best start since the bowl-in season, and I think what he's telling the team, is just play your game, play West Ham style of football, and it's been working.
Yeah, I mean, it has been. It reminds me of Major League, the movie Major League, which maybe you guys have never seen. But basically the idea is the owner of it's not, obviously it's fictional, but the owner of the Cleveland Indians wants to move the team. And the only way they're going to be able to stay is if they win a championship or if they win the pennant. So the manager and the players kind of come together. They do it for themselves, basically. They do it in spite of the owner. That's what I see with Moyes and these players. I feel as though Moyes is a guy who can manage this ownership. What do you think, Ray? You're wanting to talk.
What I was going to say was, do you think they've got the cutout of Karen Brady and taking the pits off?
I hope so. I hope so. I mean, they should, because, if you guys have seen Major, that's an old movie. That movie came out about 30 years ago. I mean, it's like 1990.
Oh, that's great.
But yeah, the owner's a woman, and they've got a cutout of her, and they take various bits of clothing up of her every time they win a game, because they've got to win. They're trying to climb up the standings anyway. It's kind of what it reminds me of, because I feel as though Moyes has stepped into a situation that was falling apart after we sold Grady. Again, Sully, you're right. Nobody goes and attacks the owners on social media. Nobody does that. This never happens. Your captain's out there like. And you saw that against Newcastle. I thought the biggest thing against Newcastle was that they were just disheveled and shocked, But then Moyes went in there and he got him into shape, and I give him credit for that as much as anything else. And this consistency we have now, I don't know what to make of it. West Ham have never been consistent, except in the Payet season, and even then, we dropped some matches we should have dropped. But anyway, John, you've been quiet up there. What's your thought?
I like Moyes. I would have had him stick around the first time he did the job. I thought his time at Everton is exactly. I mean, Everton is West Ham North. We're very, very similar clubs.
Yeah,
very
it's
similar
true.
fan bases. Very similar in our philosophy in some ways. If he could do what he did at them with us, I think we'd be more than happy with that. If we're around, we can match any team on our day and go up against anybody and be pushing for those European spots like they were. Do cup runs. I think that'd be fine for us. I can see why the owners went for Pellegrini. I can see why I even wanted them to go for Pellegrini after he signed. I mean, big name. We would attract the right players, and as long as you back him the right way, then it'll probably work out. But it hasn't worked out. Moyes did what he has to do, kept us up, and you know what you're getting. He's going to instill a work rate that's second to none. Everybody's going to work. The man didn't turn into a bad manager overnight. There's a reason Alex Ferguson picked him to be his successor, and I hope we get that version of Moyes. And I think
I agree.
We'll hopefully start to see it. I mean, what do you say, Sally? We're on 20 points. I don't even fucking look at the table till after Christmas.
Yeah, we're fifth on 20 points, and I think first place is 24.
Well, we have
20 points. Give us another 10 going into the new year or a little after New Year. The team can relax. We're not going down. Let's see what type of football we play. Let's see if we can be a bit more expansive. Let's see if we can give it a go. And who knows? We're sitting around fifth now. If we're sitting anywhere eighth and above come February, we're looking pretty good at that point. So I like him. I honestly I like him. I like that he requires 100% effort constantly. I like that he's all right playing the youth. He's certainly proven that. And if we had more talent coming through, I'm sure he'll start bringing them in on the back end of the season if we are a bit comfortable. And
I think he will.
He's handed Declan the armband in everything but name only. It was a bit opportunity wise because Noble was injured, but he's handed the armband for Declan. That's astute and it's smart, and I think hopefully that'll also help us keep him around for the next 2 years at least.
I think not only is that smart, but he's not trying to force feed Noble minutes either. I will say I was pretty nervous when he came in specifically for Benrahma. I understood the move to bring him on, but for Benrahma, and I guess maybe you take him off to, give him a little bit extra rest for Palace, but I wouldn't have done it just in case, for whatever reason, they got the equalizer. You still want that creativity going forward. But I think the one thing that we'll see, or that we need to see, is the board legitimately back him in February or January. Because like you said, if we're sitting 5th, 6th, 7th, by the time January comes around and we can make a legitimate run at Europe, we're going to need those pieces. And it doesn't even have to be. Don't go for starters. Just get depth. Get players. No, they're not.
The problem is they're not going to do it. I mean, if we didn't do that the year that we had Payet, and we potentially were looking at top 4, we're never going to fucking do it. So
yeah, no, I agree. And I mean, maybe that could even be a reason where Moyes, he could use that as leverage, in a sense. If this is his contract year, well, it might be a double-edged sword for him, thinking about it, but at the same time, it's like, this is the best we've played since you moved here.
Yeah.
We need players. Pellegrini came in and you spent £100 million on his players.
Terrible for the most part.
Oh yeah, but most of them are still
good. Yeah,
a couple of them are still here. So
a couple of them were good, but I mean, hit or miss. Let's say hit or miss.
Yeah. No, he definitely didn't hit out the park. He signed with 6 players, and I guess only technically 1 is still here.
Yeah.
We have to, like you said. I mean, we have to.
Yeah.
The only way to keep Declan around is to match his ambition anyway. So you got to surround him with players that can get him into the top 6. We have to.
Yeah.
The problem I think is exactly what you're talking about, John. The better we play, the less likely it is we're going to spend, because we spend when there's an emergency. You know what I mean? It's when it looks as though we're going to go down that we say like, oh, we better do something. If we cruise into January, and right now, we have a game or two. We've played a game or two more than some of the clubs around us. But right now we're solidly in the top 10, no matter what happens the rest of the weekend, right? If we can hold that out through December, if we're in the top 10 coming into January, or even maybe a little higher than that, hopefully, then it's less likely that they're going to spend, not more likely. They're not going to look at that and say, oh, we can get to Europe. Oh, we should, maybe this is a launching pad. They're going to say, oh, poof, we're not going down. Let's keep the squad we have. I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
There's nothing we can do about it.
The other thing with us going into. So I was going to say that the other problem is they're looking, if we get into Europe, they're going to have to bolster that squad, because we've got hardly any players to warrant 2 cup games, the Premier League, and that. So they're probably thinking, shit, let's not spend any money, because if we get into Europe, we're going to need to fucking buy Zaza, fucking all the other
right. Oh, well, God. Maybe they'll finally buy Balotelli. Maybe they'll finally get Balotelli from second division Italy, and I'll finally get my Balotelli West Ham shirt, which I've wanted for many years.
I think it'll be. Oh man, I almost just lost my thought. That's crazy. It entered my head, and I was like, "Ooh, that'd be good to talk about," and it just left. Come back to me. I'll think about it again. I apologize.
No, it happens to me all the time. I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, I mean, you can't. This is another reason why I like Moyes so much. He knows how to work with this ownership, and it's like you take 1 step forward, 2 steps back. You have a good patch, and they're going to invest less and not more, and that's the problem. I mean, yeah, we would all like to be proactive, not reactive. This is not how they work. This is not how they work. They're trying to bleed everything they can out of the club, so they see us sitting. We're basically halfway to safety right now after 12 games. And they're like, oh, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. So I remember what I was going to say. In terms of transfers, one thing that Moyes can say, to help back his spending is just look at who he has brought. Bowen is his, Souček is his, Soufal is his. Well, if you want to, if you give that to him. But
totally.
And like you said too, he's not afraid to start youngsters. Like I'm almost 100% positive that Diangana would have been starting, if he was still here. And he's willing to give Johnson a couple runouts. I'm sure Johnson might get a start or 2 in this month. I'm not too sure who else in the academy right now he would bring up that isn't already on loan, maybe with the exception of Cullen. But I mean, he knows how to run a team, and he knows what to do because he was successful at Everton. It's no secret. He played good football and he competed. But I think the best part about it is the fact that we're now playing the small teams like we play the big teams.
Yes, I agree totally.
Is the most important part.
If anything, if you look at our season so far, we kind of haven't shown up against the traditional top 6 the way we have in the past. Now, I'm just like to say traditional because Arsenal are legitimately behind us at the table now.
Look at that pour. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but that was a professional pour.
Well,
This man was focused.
I mean, the man knows what he's doing. Is all I'm saying. You know what I mean? Look at that. Look at the head on that.
Didn't spill a single drop.
Look at the head on that. It's perfect. Perfect.
Delicious.
It's like a beer commercial. You know, it's like a Sam Adams commercial. I know it's better beer than Sam Adams, but you know what
I love beer.
Well, I mean, I don't blame you. Who doesn't? You know.
So are we saying John gives the best head on American Hammer?
The cleanest, definitely the cleanest.
Yeah. No spill.
But Ray, you're the one at the Playboy Mansion in your robe.
Yeah, no one knows fucking robes, Ray, you dirty bitch.
Yeah, where's your hands at the moment, Ray? You got to keep your hands up, all right? There you go. Keep them up, because I mean, I know he's got multiple tabs going there, so you know.
Right.
Ray's eyes roll back in his head for a minute. We'll just just give him a minute.
It's not that big.
You just give him a little time. Yeah, no, I don't even know what we were talking about.
Talk about the current form.
Yeah, I mean, it's
big teams.
You know, this is why these shows go on for about 4 hours, because we just wander off.
We wander off, and that I have no, like, I'm Mr. Short-Term Memory. I have no memory for what we said like 2 minutes ago. You know what I mean? If you guys ever saw this old Saturday Night Live sketch from the late '80s, Mr. Short-Term Memory, he forgets everything he just said. That's me. I forget everything I just said. I have no memory left at all, actually. Nothing at all. By the way, my name is Lee, and it's nice to meet you. Anyway, yeah. No, I think Moyes is the right person at the right time. You know, he knows how to work within the constraints of these owners. I think that's good. But I'll tell you, to me, you know, Sam Allardyce, it was like David Sullivan's wet dream. All right. Because remember, Sam Allardyce, you know, in his first, when he got us back into the Premiership, that first season we were back, you know, we had a great fall. And we were sitting like third or fourth, like way up in the table in November, December. And then he just stopped. And he was like, okay, we're safe. And I think we won like 2 games after that, you know. And that, to me, that was like Sullivan's perfect manager. You know what I mean? Safe, early, and then, you know, don't spend in January, and then just, you know, the rest of the season doesn't matter. Just, you know, let it ride. I don't think Moyes is going to be like that. No. But Ray, your point about Declan, I mean, yeah, you know, we've got to match his ambition. The one player in the world I want more than any other player right now is Mason Mount. Not because of what he's a good player, but because he's Declan's best friend. I'd spend $100 million, £100 million on that guy, get him in to play with Declan. They'd be together forever. You know,
you probably have to spend that much to get him too,
because
Chelsea are going to sell him to another London team on the cheap.
They're not going to sell him to us ever, never. I mean, that's never going to happen.
Definitely not.
Yeah. So what do you?
What do you guys need then? Ideally,
this is true, by the way.
So you started cutting out.
Sorry, Ray. Say that again.
I said, what do you guys think we need to get through January and push on? What transfers?
Well, that depends on if Rice and Souček stay healthy, you know, because one of them goes down and it breaks our axle and we fall apart. I mean, I wouldn't mind another striker. I wouldn't mind some cover at left back or left wing back. Cresswell was great today. He's been great this season, but we know that he's not necessarily reliable at that position. Those are probably the first 2 things I can think of. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I think those are the first 2. Those are probably the 2 that we would definitely need to get to the season, you know, because I think those are where we are thinnest. Striker is obvious. You know, we need a backup striker, 100%. But and I guess maybe with somebody to play a left wing back, you know, obviously, you know, we changed the whole formation off of one player. But yeah, I mean, fullbacks and striker, I think, are the positions that you need to go for.
You know, only one ear, Wally, because, you know, a tight head, you only have anyway. Yeah. What do you think, Ray? What I mean, answer your own question. What do you think we need?
Ideally, I think centre mid is the most important thing. But I think in Moyes' head, he doesn't want a centre mid because of Nobles, Snodgrass. He's going to be like, I can't fit him in the team. They're not going to get a game. I kind of hope Rice in that because, yeah. So I think in Moyes' head, he's all about the striker.
Would that spell doom
I think
for
he is
Cullen? Do we see Cullen make the team sheet at all? Not the starting 11, but is he on the bench anytime this year? If that's the case,
Who?
Cullen.
Oh, he's
I-
gone.
No,
He's gone.
Cullen's gone.
Who am I thinking of then?
You're thinking of
I don't
Coventry.
know. Yeah, thank you, Coventry. Thank
Coventry.
you.
You're thinking of Coventry. Yeah.
That's what I
Coventry.
meant, yeah.
Not why we got Snodgrass and Noble.
Interesting. Because he's getting up there too to be in the academy. So he's what, like 24?
Actually, he's 20. He's 20. I just
Oh,
looked it
is
up.
he?
I wouldn't have known, but he's 20. I think Cullen's the one who was like 24.
Yeah.
Who just really like he's just not going to make it. You know, and he's clearly not going to make it. He's 24. At 20. If you haven't made it by 24,
Holland.
He's You know how he's done at Anderlecht?
do what?
He went to Anderlecht. Do we know how he's doing in there?
He
Did he
did go to Anderlecht, and yeah, I don't know.
No.
He did go to Anderlecht, which the Belgian league is not great. 4 appearances, 0 goals. It doesn't tell you much. You know what I mean? He hasn't been there for long. Yeah, so John, what do you think we need?
New board.
Well, I mean that goes without saying. That's.
I mean, striker's number one, isn't it? Striker's got to be number one. We seem to be able to piece it together and hold it up with sellotape at the back at the minute. Striker has to be. I mean, even if it's not, it's at least a backup for Allaire. It's at least a backup for Antonio. I mean, what's the backup plan? Those are 2 completely different systems. There's got to be somebody that's able to be in both of those, either as a backup to Antonio or either as a the man in behind Allaire. But maybe that's where Benrahma comes into the equation, because I don't know if I see him on left wing after today. You think that's his spot? He's not getting Fornals out of the team, I don't think. I thought today, I honestly thought Fornals would drop back into the Masuaku position because he's got running in him. I thought they were just going to run him into the ground and let him.
I would have been more comfortable with that. I like that idea, but they put him at 10. What did you think of him at 10 today? I mean, he missed a chance, but it wasn't a nailed on chance. It would have been a really solid goal.
Who was at 10?
Well, Fornals was more in the center.
Yeah, he was center. He was center attack today.
He was on the left, wasn't he?
No, he started. If you look at the starting lineup from NBC Sports or whatever they have out in England for you, Ray, he started in between Bowen and Benrahma behind Haller today, which is what he normally is. Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. He definitely
was cutting in a lot. Yeah, Benrahma was cutting in a lot. Yeah. I mean, Benrahma ended up kind of in that central role, I think.
Yeah, so he like switched or something. But yeah, no, I mean, I think Fornals, regardless of where he was supposed to be or what he was doing, he still finds a way to get in the action moving forward. So I think that's a big reason why you have to keep him in. Since we don't play until Wednesday, I don't see this lineup changing, honestly.
I think
we'll Fornals too. There's a lot of people very negative on Fornals and say, he misses this, he misses that. He's in the positions to miss the fucking things.
That's right.
Every time.
He doesn't always listen. I do think he's a little greedy with his shots, but he tracks back. He covers a lot of ground. He's aggressive. He goes forward aggressively. I like Fornals. I've liked him from the beginning. I didn't.
His closing speed is quick.
He has pace.
He doesn't get enough credit for that. His closing speed defensively is very quick.
Yeah, I mean, I like him, and I'd like to see him continue in the team. I think your question is good, John. I mean, do you put Benrahma in the center and Fornals on the left? Because that's kind of the way it ended up today. Because Benrahma was really running things to a great extent by the time the match started to kind of settle. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what you think the formation should be.
Anybody knows what the formation. I don't know if David Moyes knows what the formation should be. It depends on who we have fit. Because like you've said, Lee, like our top 15 players is so thin. We don't really have a squad past the top 15, really.
No, we don't.
We've got a couple of bench hagglers after that, but
I mean, you really can't look at guys like Noble and Snodgrass as players you're going to put in for 90 minutes at this point. I don't think you can anyway. They're going to do what they did today. They're going to come off and they're going to come on as substitutes. They're not 90-minute players. I don't want them to be anyway. Sorry to say that. I don't want them to be. I think they're they're too old. But yeah, I mean, let's talk about Palace since that's the next game and it's only 4 days away. By the time we're on the show next, our Wednesday night show, it'll already have happened. So, what do you think we see against Palace? How do you think we line up, and what do you think is going to happen? It's going to be it's a very different team. They pipped us twice last year, right at the end, and I hate them so much.
I think we see a lot of people on their ass because I saw Ian Bishop today tweeted out the statistic of most fouls won, and in the top 5 you've got both Zaha and Eze. So
I forgot about Easy E. We were going to sign him.
We'll be pulling players off their ass.
Yeah, it could be a lot like Villa. I think it could be a lot like Villa with Grealish out there, doing his Greg Louganis. I don't know. What do you think, Sully, about Palace? I have no idea.
I don't think our formation is going to change. We have, like I said, 4 days off, so it's not as if I think you'll see some players change for the Chelsea match since we play that on Friday next week.
Is that boxing? Is that that's not Boxing Day? Is that the 20?
It's either Friday or Saturday, I think.
Yeah, I got to look it up. There's it's a ridiculous number of games coming up here.
Yeah, but no, I don't think the formation changes. I think the game against Palace is going to be ugly. It's going to be annoying, frustrating. I still like us to get our chances, but I do see that there are a handful of players moving forward for Crystal Palace that can be a threat to where maybe
on a Monday. Yeah, Chelsea's 5 days.
Okay, so
after Palace, yeah, that's tough, man. This is a tough time of the year. Anyway, keep going. Sorry.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens, because that's always such a tough game to watch and to pick. That's probably going to be your 1-0, 1-1, 2-1 game right there. With any chances you get have to be converted because there might not be a lot of them.
It feels like Villa to me. It feels a lot like Villa to me. They feel like Villa to me. That's a team we should have beaten twice last season and lost to twice last season.
We have no business losing to them. Let's put it that way.
No, we have no business losing to them ever, quite frankly. What do you think, John or Ray, about Palace coming up? But it's hard to think that we just had a win a few hours ago. But what do you think's going to happen in the next one?
John, John.
Yeah, you got it, Ray. You look prime.
My uncle Gary. Bastard, wanker. He's a Crystal Palace fan, isn't he? I don't even think he's really my uncle. I think he must have been adopted because most of the other families support West Ham. So, and he's so my cousins and that from that side are all Crystal Palace. So we've got to win, please.
I know. I don't think
there'll be any changes. I think he'll be able to work with Benrahma about, maybe they'll really think more of the team. I think the team will get around him and say, look, I was in this position here, there, put me in, slide me in. I think you'll see a bit more. But I'm quite excited about that. But, yeah. And I agree with John about Fornals. I thought Fornals is playing really well. I like his work rate.
Yeah,
I do too.
So,
I wouldn't take him off. I've always liked Fornals. I mean, I know he's missed some chances. But he bangs one or two of those in. All of a sudden, the guy's a legend. You know what I mean?
Yeah. With Fornals, the one negative thing for him, right, is whenever you lose, fans are going to look at whatever they can to point at for the loss. And as John said, he's in position to score. He gets 2 chances a game almost automatically.
Yep.
Whether he creates them himself or he's just in the right place at the right time. But it's easy to be mad at him if we lose if those chances aren't converted. But I guarantee you he'll be a reason we win a game sooner or later.
He already has been. He already has been. Yeah, and I think I agree with you. I think he's I haven't even gotten into this yet. This is horrible stuff. All right, okay, John, tell us what you think about. So I got my blanket here because it's it's chilly. It's December in Boston. Tell us what you think about Palace on Wednesday. Another horrible Wednesday weekday game. I hate those.
I hate them. I can't stand them.
Can't stand them. Hate them.
That's what I think about. I don't hate them on the level that I hate Spurs or Chelsea, but I just don't. They're just plastic.
They're a poxy club. They just
coordinated fucking chants, and it's just not.
Other than having, I will admit, a kind of a cool name. I'm sorry, they kind of have a cool name. All right, for somebody who grew up with American sports, there are no names like Crystal Palace in American sports. All right, so I will say the name is not bad. Other than that, Poxy Club. They sing that "Glad All Over" song. It's horrible. It's cringeworthy to me.
The badge offends me. The kit offends me.
The stupid eagle thing.
Oh.
The one thing that I think is is frustrating for me about them is any player that we have a legitimate chance at signing, they end up being, like last minute, like, oh, well, we're going to throw a bid in for this just so West Ham can't get that player. I mean, granted, that happened pretty clearly with Ezzy. Not who knows what he would have been for us anyways.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like
the
past few years, I feel like that's just been a thing to where, because I think Bowen might have been like last second link to them. Not that he had interest, but somebody's like, hey, go ahead and tweet this out real quick.
How fucking bad are we that happens and somebody goes to Palace, right? So Batshuayi, right, has turned us down about 5 times.
Yeah,
to Palace on loan. Did this? I don't know. I don't like him. I have no reason not to like him. They're not offensive.
I don't even think it's a case of us being bad. I just think it's a case of like that. No one's going to believe it if they do that to like the other London clubs like Arsenal, Chelsea, Tottenham. Like, okay, Crystal Palace, go and sit down. Even though Chelsea did steal Crystal Palace's kit this year, as funny as that is.
That's true. They're a poxy club. They've spent most of their history outside the top flight. I just feel they're just like they're like an annoying little, those little dogs, those little tiny ones that yip at you and they bite your ankles. You know what I mean? That's what Crystal Palace is. Yeah, like little. Well, but Chihuahuas have a certain amount of flair. But these are like they bite at your ankles and they're just like all over you all the time. I don't like them. You know what I mean? I don't like them. Something about them. And the two games last week.
Will ever actually leave there?
No, definitely not.
No,
where else is he going to start in this league?
He's there, Matt Letizia. He's going to play with them forever, and he's a legend there. And whatever, they can have him. I mean, except that I don't want him to play against us because he always scores against us. What do you think is going to happen in the game, John? Do you think we keep the same formation, keep the same starting 11? I mean, what's your prediction?
Yeah, I mean, Moyes hasn't shown much to change so far this season, and Masuaku now, God knows when he's back. This is the formation we're looking at for the next 3 months at least.
I think so too.
So buckle in, Irons fans. Buckle in. This is nobody's replacing Masuaku in that position anyway. Not with what he does. Right. So we're looking at 4-4-2 or maybe Fornal's dropping back a bit more to help out Cresswell down the left hand side. This is it. Yeah. This is it, folks. So
this is why we got to sign a left back or a left wing back because Cresswell's been great. He's redeemed himself this season. But he's going to struggle at some point. Because he struggled all last season.
Those assists are going to drop off too because he's not going to be able to get up the way he was.
Exactly. All those chances he created.
When it was 4-4-2, he was doing the overlap, but he's not great at the overlap. He's better at sticking back about 5-10 yards back behind the corner of the box and whipping it across there rather than doing the overlap and not having the pace to get that extra foot past the defender to get across in. He's better when the ball's dropped back to him to knock the ball over. So I don't know, but get used to it. There's no way to replace that. And that could be good. It could be bad. It's bad because we don't have an immediate solution. It could be good because, I don't think that we started playing those two that way out of any logical reason rather than it was the only way to take 2 players to make them one actual whole defender.
Exactly, and now we're back to what we had before.
A left back that can get up and defend, which between the two of them they accomplish. I don't see anything changing there.
I think just for devil's advocate, you could say that we switched to formation just for this game because it was only like a 2 days notice. So he put people in a position that they were primarily comfortable with beforehand. Yeah. And not to say that anything's going to change because if it's not broken, Moyes isn't going to fix it. We won and defense was pretty well this game, but I think, if we were to go back to it, it might be Fornals that goes into that spot, but I don't think you're going to be able to train him on it 2 days before a game, with a last minute surgery.
What I like about this is the fact that we started the season off playing a certain way with 5 at the back, 4 in midfield, 1 up front. We're being kind of forced to change. So that means that the other managers in the league are not going to work us out as quick.
That's true.
If we was playing a formation. So it's kind of a forced change in the formation style of play to some degree. So it actually starts making, and this is what I was going to get worried about for the first half of the season. We play a certain way. Second half, play the same way and get found out. A bit like Sheffield United doing this season.
I thought the same thing. Are they going to suss us out? I thought it had already started to happen, actually. I thought it started to happen with Fulham. I thought it started to happen with Sheffield United. I thought it started to happen with Villa a little bit. So, yeah, this throws a curve, and that's not a bad thing necessarily. There's a lot of pressure on Aaron Cresswell, and I like Aaron Cresswell. I've always liked him. Now, like everybody else, I know he had a bad season last season. We were all critical of him because I think he deserved the criticism. But he's a great servant to the club. He's a former Hammer of the Year. I like him, and I really want him to succeed. I worry about him a little bit back at that fulcrum at left back by himself. I do. I worry about that. I don't know. So, I mean, again, if we were going to spend in January, left backs don't cost an enormous amount of money, I don't think. Bring up Slavia Prague and ask, hey, who you got? Get a hold of our academy team in the Czech Republic.
Tierney. Doesn't want to be in a relegation battle. Let's go get Tierney.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, sure, why not? Yeah, don't want to be in a relegation battle. Yeah, exactly.
I would like to think that we're, and I don't think by any stretch of the mean that we're a small club, but I feel like West Ham are a big enough club for those players who don't want to be in a relegation battle but still want to compete and play good football, that we could, pick those guys up, if we had competent management.
Depending on where we're sitting at the end of December, all right, depending where we're sitting, we have an argument that we could be playing for Europe. That's not outrageous right now. It's not.
No, definitely not.
Not outrageous. So if we manage to, sit in the top 6, 7, 8 by the end of December, which is possible, then you really could go to some of these guys at the mid to lower tier Premier League clubs or in other parts of Europe and say, hey, we're not going down, and the real shot at Europa League next season, if your club's not going to make Europe, we have a shot. So I think that's a good pitch we could use. Question is, will Sullivan check? And I'm not sure he will.
Yeah, I know Kieran said that we're massive. I know we are. I'm just saying in the eyes of like players, who have a choice to go places, I think that we would be decently, credible enough for those other players, at least the ones who aren't from here to,
I think you're right.
Come here.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. So if you let's listen, let's take a couple more minutes before we go, and let's talk about this whole Issa Diop's a striker thing. What happened? So he plays up front. He trains up front in training all week. I thought maybe that was just like to simulate having a big striker up front. You know what I mean? The way you have a practice squad quarterback in American football. You know what I mean? Maybe like what they'll do sometimes is if you're going to play the Ravens and you're going to play Lamar Jackson, you take one of your running backs and you have him be the quarterback in practice. So you're chasing a guy around. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think maybe Diop doing a decoy type thing, right? Like not actually going to play up front. He's just providing, but then he's not in the team today at all. Well, I mean, are we going to see Issa Diop, leading the line against Palace? That's hard to believe. It's hard to believe, but
Who knows? Maybe it was just part of his rehab, just to get him moving around more. Who knows? I mean, there's no situation where you can viably tell fans that Issa Diop is who you're going to have as striker.
No, unless you're Slaven Bilic and you've already put Antonio at left back or right back or wherever it was he played. I think it was right back. I don't know, John. Ray, I mean, what is this business of Diop? What was he not in the team? Is he injured? Does he?
It's a Moyes masterclass, Lee. This is a masterclass from David Moyes, where the other day he says, Bielsa released the lineup the other day early. I'm not going to change anything that we're doing, and just sneak into the conversation. By the way, Issa's been training up front this week. Fucking masterclass, Lee.
Well, listen,
completely off their game.
Bielsa, I thought his little move at announcing the starting 11, which he did start the start. I thought it was a low rent Alex Ferguson move. Ferguson was the master at mind games. That dude could get he was like Muhammad Ali. You know what I mean? He got in people's heads. He messed them up for life. Like I think Arsene Wenger has nightmares about that guy. So I think Bielsa was trying to do the same thing. But maybe you're right. Maybe Moyes was like, oh, by the way, it's been played at striker.
You give him something completely different to think about because he's completely shit in the air. So suddenly you're worrying about somebody that can play on the ground. So you're not worried about Haller that's in the air anymore. Now you got to worry about Issa Diop's feet. So
I mean, Issa Diop did have that really nice, like 70-yard run against Tottenham in the first game in the new stadium. Which he failed to finish, but that's probably the closest thing to Antonio you'll get from a striker that we have.
That's true.
I guess speaking of like masterclass, here's this for a curveball. What if Antonio is healthy and you put him in Masuaku's spot?
Played everywhere else.
I mean, he could do it. He was a winger. You
just really have to hope that Haller doesn't get hurt.
Yeah, I can't see. I mean, honestly, I think when Antonio's healthy, he comes back. He plays striker again when he comes back. I think when he's healthy enough, I think Haller goes,
Yeah, which is unfortunate.
Which is unfortunate because I still think I know, but you know what? I'm trying to be positive about Haller. I was so down on him for so long. And I think the last 3 or 4 games, he's looked better. He's looked more interested. He's created better chances. He scored against Sheffield United. I know it was a little bit of a fluke, but it was a great goal, though.
If he scores today, this might have been the best game he's played all year, for being honest.
He's the second half, definitely. In the second half.
Well, okay, so again, Ray, I don't know when you came in. Yeah, sure. Yeah. I get a mulligan for the first half for everybody. But, I mean, when was the last time you saw Haller all over the pitch? Haller was everywhere today. You got to get off that. You got to get off that negative because Haller was all over the place.
I think Sally's right about that. Right.
And that overhead kick, you can't even say that's negative on him. That's just a really nice save.
He didn't score.
Okay, so
I know.
Only 2 people on the team that did score. How many people took a shot?
If he was Issa Diop and he put in that overhead,
we had no attacking player score today. Just put it to you like that. Which I guess is also nice because it shows that we can score from anywhere. But we had no forward player score today.
But this is why Leeds are not doing as good as they can because they can't expect Bamford to score all the goals. They need their midfield to come up with like 6 goals per person. And if we've got Haller, even if you listen to Rice in his commentary, Haller could have put Rice in for twice to just slot it in the back of the net. But he didn't. He lost the ball.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not – I mean –
for me, this is the worst game I've seen Haller play because all the other games, I've been really positive. I thought, like the last game, I thought, Man United, he was working really hard.
He's worked hard the last game. But Ray, it's weird because, I mean, he was at fault for the goal, basically. And I thought he had some really abysmal moments in the first half. I thought his first touch really let him down. I thought the second half was pretty darn good. I mean, I really did. I thought he was much more active. I thought he created better chances. He forced a great save on that overhead kick, which maybe shouldn't have been an overhead kick, but he forced a great save. I don't know. I thought he was.
Rice was coming in behind him, and he went forward, and the defenders just pushed him off the ball. I was like, Haller's a beast. Why is he letting his defenders? And like they just got it back here, or push it backwards. Rice would have been straight in. And there was a few times where there was one time when I saw him press the defense, and that's where we got the free kick from. So I actually thought it was really good on that. I did too.
I'll agree. I mean, I will say that his one hallmark that I think Haller has, opposed to other strikers we've had in the past, is that he does have really good setup play. But I think today it just wasn't there for him, and it was obvious. I don't think anybody can argue the opposite. But on that same token, he is not the only one that missed a through ball. Everybody did. That tried him for the most part today. I really hope that that's just a 1-game thing. It looked as if the weather probably played a factor in that as well. But I mean, there were bits and pieces of the game where Haller didn't look like himself, but there were also bits and pieces of the game where Haller looked like $45 million. And I really don't care about Haller being slow because he still could have scored because he puts himself in the right spot. Like, not every striker in the Premier League is blazing fast. And I mean, and to be honest, I said this on Wednesday. If the only reason you want to start Antonio over Haller is because he's fast, then start Haller because he offers you so much more, if I'm being honest.
I mean, I think Moyes likes Antonio. I think Antonio is much better for our counter-attacking game because he's more willing to run at defenders, whereas Allaire is more of a guy who wants to get set up, But I
Right.
thought I was pulling defenders with him today. Look at the Ogbonna goal. Allaire makes a cutting run across the box. Two guys go with him. Ogbonna sneaks in behind. I mean, Allaire's part of that. All right, 45 million pounds. You wanted to score, Ray. You're right. You wanted to score. All right, you wanted to score.
Yeah.
I'm trying to look at the positives because I feel as though his effort has gone up considerably in the last 3 or 4 games. I thought at the beginning of the season he was walking around, he was a stroppy Frenchman. Now he looks more interested. You know what I mean? And okay, believe me, I've known a lot of stroppy Frenchmen in my time. Okay, I'm just saying. So
Tell us about it, Lee. I don't think we've heard the story.
One of these days I'll tell you about it, but it's different stories altogether.
2 hours.
Yeah. I'm just saying, you guys. Have you ever actually worked in a French office? It's like you just would have no idea. I know you wouldn't believe what it's like.
I didn't think they worked.
Well,
So you're talking to 2 Englishmen. I don't think they really would work around the French too much.
About a third of them do all the work, okay? Because you can't get fired in France, right? Once you're in a job, you're in a job forever. So then it becomes like, do you just sit around or do you act? And I had trouble just sitting around. I know that's hard for you to believe, but about a third of the people do all the work. Everybody else just sits around and drinks wine all day. And anyway, and complain. They complain a lot, even more than I do. But anyway, yes, it's coming at you. It's coming at you. Yeah, I think Antonio is back as soon as he's healthy, and I agree with this too. He doesn't put the ball out for West Ham Clips, astronaut anymore. He's gotten much better at that. Plus,
Yeah.
I just love him. He's just he personifies West Ham to me right now. But we need Allaire. We don't have.
And I've said this a number of times. I would definitely sell Antonio in January.
I know you would.
Right.
Listen, financially, Ray, it's a sensible argument. All right. Sometimes you have to take the fans into account. I think people would riot if we sold Antonio in January.
Who's buying him?
Crystal Palace.
Oh, great! So that when we play him again in the spring, he can score the winner against us in the 90, the 135th minute or however long it'll go.
Wasn't it against them? He held the ball up he went for the shot where he should have just held the ball up in the corner, and they went down the other end of the pitch in like the 93rd minute and scored. That was against Palace, wasn't it?
Oh, it might have been.
I think so.
That sounds
Terrible,
right.
terrible flashbacks.
Yeah. No, I think it was. No, I know you would. I wouldn't sell him in January. Would you sell him in January though, Ray? I mean, I don't know.
Not if we ain't buying any other strikers. You can't.
This is the key state that it's going to be. We've got to make the decision. He's got 6 months left on his contract in January. So if we've got to give him a new contract, but then we've got.
I mean, it's a decent question, to be fair.
I didn't say I hated Haller. It's just that this game I thought was his worst game of the season for me. My personal opinion.
I would not.
So
I would not give Antonio more than 2 years. 2 years at the max. What is it? 30?
This game was his worst of the season, Ray. Don't freeze on me now.
Yeah, for me it was worst of the season. So for me it was his worst game of the season. I was really looking at him and like loads of mistakes.
That last
on Ray's show earlier this week, we did say that at least for me, if selling Haller is something that does happen, we have to buy his replacement first because I don't trust the fact that we would use that money to replace him, because you sell a striker, you have to buy a striker. I mean, it just makes sense.
Of course, well, especially we don't have enough. We only have one right now who's healthy. And you could argue we only have one period because Antonio's not really a striker. We use him that way. He's a Moyes.
Yeah, we really do only have one striker. Yeah, and the other one's on loan.
And Moyes seems to be cooling on Josh King from what I've read. Oh, I like Josh King, but he's not healthy. He's not been healthy. So you don't want another guy coming in on the Jack Wilshere plan, jumping out of dryers to scare poor Declan Rice. Well, now here you go. Now Ken is with you. Ray, Ken is with you here. Yeah.
I
want to go rewatch the game somehow, and Like, just take recordings of the clips that I thought were really bad, and then compare it to what you guys saw.
I think that it's just a tale of two halves, and I think it was like that for most players moving forward. Defensively, we were great throughout. Let me make that extremely clear. We were great throughout for 90 minutes, but I think moving forward,
well, we know where it is. He's got the
Haller
hat
was,
on, it's all
right. Haller was much better in the second half, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that he was flawless.
Funny.
What?
When in the second half?
The whole second half.
When he wasn't trying to make passes, I feel like in the second half. I don't know. I mean, he had, like I said, he did have a mess up, that turnaround where he probably should have put that in. He didn't. Overhead kick was a nice save. Anybody makes an overhead kick, you're probably complimenting the save. But because it was Haller, you're going to say that he didn't take his chance. Not you specifically, but just people in general. Right. So, but I don't know. I mean, and I don't know. I just feel like the first half for most players going forward just wasn't great. Ben Rama wasn't even that great going forward in some aspects in the first half. And I'm not going to sit here and say that Heller's second half was, complete. But Balbuena had a fantastic game. I definitely agree.
Yeah, were both fantastic. I might have given it to Balbuena, but whatever. It's just one of the two. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with that too, Robbie. But yeah, I mean, if you do rewatch it, just try to look at it from an objective standpoint in the second half compared to the first half.
I think that's fair.
Can I just show this that I've just found?
Wait. Is it a clip? Oh, don't show a clip because it'll get us shut down. Seriously.
Okay.
No. I would love you to, but believe me, I've done this. We've done this.
Maybe after the show.
I'll tell you what. Put it in the chat. Put the link to it in the chat. Because believe me, I showed a couple of clips one night. There you go. Got it working for you. I showed a couple of clips one night, and I mean, like within 10 minutes of the end of the show, it was like you're shut down.
Oh, really?
We had to cut it. We had to cut the show at the point where I started showing clips. So that was like a 3-hour show.
This is a funny one.
They've got these algorithms, and they find everything. It's yeah.
Shows that we got some clout finally.
Yeah, it's incredible. Yeah, that's right. It's because we're massive. American Hammers TV is massive. That's why they come after us. You can't be showing our 1,500 subscribers.
I think his whole play was shit. His work rate was good, and generally, on any other day, maybe 2 of his 3 or 4 chances go in, and it's a different conversation.
Yeah, and we all know that his hold-up play is much better than it was tonight.
But he's not but let me say this, just to play devil's advocate and be on Ray's side a little bit here. He's never looked like a 45 million pound striker to me at any point.
Sure, I'll give you that.
And I don't want to be down on that. I can think his effort is better, but he doesn't. I've never looked at him and thought, yeah, he's our record transfer.
Yeah, but I will say, look, if you do rewatch it again, the one thing I do want you to pay attention to, Ray, is just look at how Haller is legitimately all over the pitch today, and he never does that.
He worked. It was a good work rate for him, say, compared to other games.
Yeah, his work rate is better and getting better all the time, and which again, I give him credit for that. The only thing I'll say is, again, a 45 million pound striker's got to be better than just running down the pitch.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if we'd bought this guy for 10, 15 million pounds somewhere, I'd be saying this is a great buy, but he was expensive. So
yeah.
If was in the chat, do they know of anywhere we can look at heat maps and stuff like that, and touches and misplaced passes?
Probably from the Premier League website or like OneFootball.com.
That might be able to look at. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, we could probably put that up. Yeah,
we could do that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why you're saying this. Are you saying that we're going to be Watford? I hope not.
No. Because last year, Haller had a really good game against Watford early last season.
Haller against Watford. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought. Okay, never mind. See, I don't always get stuff. Sometimes it's like, Okay, yes. He did. He did against Watford. Yes, you're right. And I kind of listen. I feel this way too. He needs another one. After that Sheffield United goal, he needs another one, and then I think maybe we'll see him start to, Plus, this is the first time Ben Rama started with him, and I think Ben Rama is one of the guys who unlocks him. I don't, I think again, we're putting more into the attack. We've gone away from 5 at the back. That's probably good for him. All that's probably good for him. So
yeah, Ben Rama did look really dangerous going forward today for sure.
I was going to say, with that overhead kick, that's not a player with no confidence.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
He's got confidence. It's just
he is French. Don't forget, he's going to have a certain arrogance to him, But yeah, the overhead kick was it definitely showed. You're right about that.
It'll come. Give it time. He's a good player. We get the right players around him, we'll be fine.
I will say one thing.
Who's not happy? Why are we complaining? Who in West Ham world is not happy right now? I'm fucking ecstatic.
No, I'm happy. No, I'm extremely happy.
Be in this position and be unhappy, isn't it?
One thing I will say is I think, as I said earlier, I think this team is really close to finding that niche to where we're getting 2-3 goals a game, because we're getting plenty of opportunities to be able to score that many goals, and I think that with the defense rate that we have, that we've had pretty much all season, if I'm being honest, with the exception of, I guess, the United game, but even then 65 minutes was pretty fantastic.
Good. Yeah.
I think, once players start getting either goals or getting those assists or, just whatever the rate may be, I think that'll be when you see that this team is truly unlocked and we are legitimately competing for European football.
I'm thrilled by what happened today because, again, I had a meltdown. I was in panic. I was sure.
That chat today was pretty crazy.
The chat was worse than Twitter. Now, everybody else who bothered to look saw me on Twitter, but the chat that we have for American Hammers TV was like, yeah, I was having a meltdown. I was rooting with the hair dye going down. I was having a legit meltdown because without Arthur going back to a back 4, Cresswell alone in that left back position, I thought we were really in a lot of trouble. So I'm extremely happy with how it turned out. I mean, I'm thrilled. I drank an alcoholic beverage on the show. I don't do that much very often, So anyway, I think it's great. So no complaining, happy, thrilled. I don't know. You guys, I mean, surely you guys feel that way too, right?
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, you can't be mad with 5th unless you're an Arsenal fan.
They would kill to be where we are right now. They would kill to be where we are right now. They might even kill to have our squad.
Arsenal fans get pissed at being in 3rd place every year. Like, heaven forbid that's such a bad place to be in the league.
I'm telling you, they drove out Arsene Wenger, and I knew that was going to be a disaster for them.
And now they miss him.
He's the best manager they've ever had in their history. Yeah. And they got rid of him because they thought that they were Manchester United in the 90s. They thought that they were Liverpool in the 80s. They never have been like that ever, and they're not like that now. And it was a massive mistake on their part. And I don't care because I hate them.
What they need is new owners, and I can say that because Arsenal owners own 2 teams in Colorado, but the 2 teams in Colorado are by and large better than what Arsenal is right now.
Yeah. Well, they own the Rapids, right?
Yeah, they do own the Rapids, but they own the Avalanche and the Nuggets too.
Oh, the Avalanche. Oh, they own the Nuggets too.
Yeah,
I knew they owned the Avs. Yeah, Avs are a good team. Avs are going to get a lot better. They have those fantastic new sweaters selling with the old Nordique.
The Nordique, yeah.
Those things are awesome. They're also like $300, but all right. So, does anybody? I know we talked about Palace a little bit. Does anybody want to give? And chat room, you guys do the same thing. Give us a score prediction, which I know is stupid, but let's do it anyway. What do you think's going to happen? Score 1.
Good guys.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that would be like the Villa, basically like Villa then.
Yeah, I mean, as long as we get 3 points, I don't care how it happens.
Yeah, I don't either. Ray, what do you think?
I think it's going to be a draw. We haven't drawn for ages, so I feel like there's a draw on the cards.
Yeah, since Manchester City.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I thought to be fair, I thought today's game would be a draw.
Yeah, I thought 0-0.
But it felt like I feel a draw coming. Do you know what I mean? I feel it like building somewhere. John, what do you think? A ridiculous prediction on our next game, given that our last one ended like 5 hours ago.
I'm fucking ecstatic at the way we're playing. We're winning games. We don't generally do that. It's difficult. Yeah. It's difficult to be happy as a West Ham supporter. I'm taking in the whole moment. I got everything. David Moyes got these boys playing. They're giving 100%. Even if we're behind, we're still in the match. I'm loving it. Ray's getting his fucking tits out on international YouTube. He's got his fucking gown on.
Oh,
yes, Ray. Yes.
yeah.
That is the content that people deserve. So 5-1 West Ham. Fuck
out
it.
later on,
5-1.
The funniest thing is if you think about it, now saying that
5-1, you said 5-1?
5-1 West Ham. One for each of fucking how many nipples Ray has. 5-1 West Ham.
the thing that's funny, right, is not saying that anybody is drunk, but Ray is the only one here who hasn't had alcohol, and he is the most naked.
That's great.
So if we do get a draw, right? Because I know a couple of people have said, a draw. Is that a bad result, or is it depending on how the draw happens?
I'm happy. I am happy. I'm happy. If we get a draw, it's a brilliant result. We're still fifth. If we're realistic, by Sunday, we'll probably drop down to maybe sixth. Maybe
we can't.
Result.
We play on Monday. We can't go worse than 8.
We'll be in the top 7 or 8. We can be worse than 8. 8 is the worst we can be. So
I think we'll finish on 6th by Monday.
I mean,
so yeah, I might be nitpicking, but I'm happy.
I'm thrilled with where we are. I'm thrilled with the season. 20 points. I always consider the threshold for safe 3 points because remember West Ham went down on 42 points in 2003. So I consider 43 points the threshold for. So we're 23 points away. We're almost halfway there. And honestly, once we're safe, I start to enjoy the season a little bit. The fact that we're legitimately in the top 10, the fact that we've played the way we have, I'm absolutely thrilled. I'm just delighted with how things are going. I'm like Foe. Foe and I are the same. We can never ever pick West Ham to win because it's bad karma, bad luck. But I will say that I think, Selly, I think you're right. I think it's going to look a lot like the Villa game, and if it's a draw, it's going to be like a 1-1 or a 2-2 or something like that.
Yeah, I just think it's going to be really ugly and physical and brutal, and somebody's going to get punched in the face, and I'm here for it.
I want Nolan to be right, and I'll tell you this: I trust David Moyes. I do. So if I don't pick a win, it's not because I don't think we'll win. It's only because picking a win guarantees that we'll lose, and I don't want to do that to you, the fans, or to the team. It's not fair. So because as you know, everything the fans do at home affects the game. You're aware of that. You know this, all right? The shirt you wear, the drink you drink, the way you do everything the fans do at home affects the game. So don't deviate from whatever it is you're doing because it's going really well.
We're going to spank somebody this season, and I'm probably drunk, but I feel like this upcoming match.
Palace would be a fun team to do it against because in my few years of being a West Ham fan, I have never, and not even like jokingly saying this, but I've never heard any West Ham fan, like true West Ham, utter any positive word towards Crystal Palace.
No, never. It's weird because you'll hear West Ham fans. I have honest to God, I have heard West Ham fans talk about, and not very many, but talk about respecting Millwall as a blue collar club. It's they hate Millwall, but it's like West Ham. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you've had a lot of back and forth. Billy Bonds managed Millwall. Kenny Brown's at Millwall right now. He's part of the staff right now. We interviewed him on the show. He still goes to West Ham. He coaches at Millwall. You hear something not negative about almost any club, how you at least respect the manager, but Crystal Palace never a word, never. It's always just like, who are they? What are they doing here? Why are they here? They're totally nondescript, cringeworthy, So I don't know. I probably some Crystal Palace fan will probably find this and like fillet me on Twitter, but I don't care. I've
still be hard than them in the table.
I've never met a Crystal Palace fan ever that I can think of. So I mean, I bet fans of you go to when we went to that thing in Boston, when Tim and I went to that thing in Boston last year, the NBC Sports thing, there were like Brighton fans and there were Bournemouth fans. Everybody. I don't think there were any Palace fans there because there don't have any fans, at least not in this country. So I don't even know where they are. Where is Crystal Palace anyway?
It's like near King's Cross, I think, isn't it? Or am I wrong?
I live in London. I don't know.
Is it south? Is it south? Is it South London?
I love Ray.
I have no idea. I thought that they were close to Arsenal.
Wait a minute. I do remember. Wait, this. Remember this story? Yes, I remember this story. The skinhead who went to Burning Man, and that's right. I remember this was the story about the guy who. Sally, you remember this? You remember this?
Yeah, you said it a few weeks ago.
Yeah. He went to Burning Man and he converted. He was like a racist skinhead before he went to Burning Man, and then he went to Burning Man and he converted away from racism because he went to Burning Man. So, but he did not convert away from supporting Crystal Palace, and that's still a problem, you know. So Burning Man didn't do everything it needed to do there. Rebecca Lowe, I'm going to say something nobody's going to agree with. I don't like her all that much.
Yeah, Rebecca Lowe's a Crystal Palace fan.
Not a huge fan. Sorry, just not. Don't like the show all that much. Just don't like it all that much. But then I hate.
I mean, she does her job.
Well, of course. I mean, she's not. It's just people go crazy for her, and I'm like, she's no Phyllis George. Okay, that's all I'm saying. The greatest sports pregame show in the history of the world was the NFL Today in the late '70s and early '80s with Britt Musburger, Irv Cross, and Phyllis George, and Jimmy the Greek Snyder. It was the best show ever, and nothing will ever match it. So just Rebecca Lowe, forget it. Yeah. Nobody has any idea what I'm talking about now because nobody's that old and nobody was that American. So, yeah. So that's a problem. Tim Howard hates West Ham. Whatever with Tim Howard. I mean, what did he ever?
He has some interesting football takes. I mean, I like the guy because he played for the Rapids for a few years, but yeah, he has some pretty interesting takes.
There's all the best football pundit on television, American television to me is Taylor Twellman. I like Taylor Twellman actually.
They're all a bit shit, but they're all a lot better than Alexi Lalas. So I can.
Alexi Lalas,
100%.
Bottom of the barrel.
He is the worst.
He is, and I'll tell you something that happened many years ago, and we'll tell you this, and then we won't hang on for too much longer. Kieran's off to the pub, which I guess you can do in Australia now. I don't know. That's you know, but then it's already like 2022 in Australia or something.
Right.
I don't know how the time works there, but Alexi Lalas, you know, he was on the U.S. World Cup team in 1994 when the tournament was in the U.S. and it was hyped in a pretty serious way. And the team was really not too bad. You know, they got through the group stage. They had the tragic win over Colombia. You might remember when. Help me out with his name. Escobar.
It was Escobar.
Andres Escobar scored the own goal and was later murdered. Yeah, horrible situation.
There's a 30 for 30 on that.
There's a great 30 for 30 on that. The two Pablos.
The two Escobars.
Two Escobars because his name was Andres. Whatever. You know, I have no memory. The two Escobars, if you ever watch that 30 for 30, it's really, really, really good and really sad, tragic, but it's great. Anyway, so Alexi Lalas was on the team. They ended up going out to Brazil. No shame in that, right? You know, won the tournament. So I was working at the company that owns 7-Eleven, which is called the Southland Corporation. It's based in Dallas. I had an internship there. I was in college. And Alexi Lalas went on one of the late night talk shows, like Letterman or Jay Leno, whoever it was at the time. And he randomly just mentioned how much he loves Slurpees, which they sell those at 7-Eleven, right? And he's like, yeah, I love Slurpees. They're like the greatest things in the world. I love Slurpees. And then he says on the show, he's like, I really want to endorse Slurpee for 7-Eleven. He's like, I really want to be like a Slurpee spokesman for 7-Eleven. So this comes back to us, and we're sitting there at the corporate office, and my boss in the marketing department was like, nah. It's like, nah. So we sent him a letter. Okay, we sent him a letter saying like, hey, thanks for talking about Slurpee on, you know, like late night television. And we sent him like a Slurpee hat and T-shirt. That was all I got. That was all I got. And then we got nothing else ever sent to Alexi Lalas again. So
the one thing I did enjoy of his, as far as hot takes go, is when he just totally ripped the men's national team after they got knocked out of qualification for the World Cup a few years ago.
Yeah, I agree, but that's fish in a barrel. I mean, anybody can.
No. That's fair. Yeah. And it
brother
would
came out
come
and
from him
ripped it.
too.
I mean, they were, they go out to Trinidad and Tobago. It's embarrassing. It's
Yeah,
embarrassing.
but I mean, Alexi Lawless is one of those people that does like to poke the bear, like on purpose.
Oh
Just
yeah.
because it gets a reaction, So, but yeah, I mean, outside of that, his takes are pretty lukewarm.
Well, he was also the lead singer of the Spin Doctors, and they were a terrible band in the '90s. So I don't know if you guys ever realized he looked exactly like the lead singer of the Spin Doctors, or he used to anyway. And they were just so awful. So yeah, another anti-Alexi Lawless, moment for me. And I can't. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if there's any like juxtaposition of these two guys. Well, I'm not easily finding it, but back when he had the long hair and the beard, he looked just like the lead singer of the Spin Doctors, and they were bad. So,
He's a twat. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is okay. All right, let's see. Hang on. I have to do this before we go. All right. This is very important now.
Are you getting close to a record here again or no?
No, not even
not
close.
even.
No, we've gone like 2.5,
Got
3.
like 44 40 minutes left.
No, I was going to say, you're not even, I mean, sorry, that's not going to happen. So this is the Spin. This was the lead singer. I know it's kind of small. This was the lead singer of the Spin Doctors right here. I'm telling you, he looks like Alexi Lawless in 1994. All right, there's the lead singer of the Spin Doctors, and here is 1994 Alexi Lawless.
Fucking state of him. Look at him.
This is what I'm saying.
I feel like Alexi Lawless was like picked up to play in Europe and just so happened to be on a U.S. team that kind of did decently in a World Cup, and now he's like this
dude he's gotten so much mileage out of being a mediocre player on a half decent World Cup team that would not have been that good if they hadn't been playing in their own country, But yeah,
Sure.
Here's Spin Doctors guy. Here's like anyway, and the Spin Doctors.
Can you please show the U.S. jeans shirt
from
the 94 World Cup? If we're going to use a picture
I
of
love
it,
that. That's one
we
of
have
the
to
best
use the
shirts.
best picture.
That's one of the best. That's one of the best. Let me see.
My God,
Those
it was
big
bad.
flowy kits are definitely one of a kind too.
No, I love that. I love that jeans shirt. I think it's fantastic. I don't have it. I don't have any. I actually don't have a U.S. shirt at all. I used to. No, I do actually. A friend of mine gave me a 2002 U.S. shirt that I don't know where it is, but it's in my house somewhere. All right, here we go. All right, what's screen? Okay, I haven't done it yet. There it is. It's coming. There you go. Oh,
magnificent.
That is fantastic. Look at that thing. It's brilliant. It's just. I think this is a reproduction because it says retros, but whatever. It's just it's what it looks like. You know what I mean? That is gorgeous.
Only in America would you make a kit out of jeans.
It's meant to look like, that's the whole thing. It's intended to look like denim. That's the brilliance of it,
That
right?
is terrible.
No, come on, Sally.
I like it.
Definitely
it's
not.
Absolutely
Just
brilliant.
coming out of the Cold War, Berlin Wall comes down. People have been buying fake Levi's in Russia for 50 years.
It's the middle finger to the commies. It's the middle finger to the commies. If you guys are growing up in the 80s, you would know. Let me just tell you. It took
missed out.
It took a big effort to beat communism. All right, I remember. For me, it was I was heavily involved in all that as a kid. Yeah, I mean, I had to buy a lot of Coca-Cola and stuff like that to knock over communism. I had to be a good American consumer, and I was.
Such a sacrifice.
I was very good. I was a very good consumer, and that's how we beat the commies. There you go. There's Alexi in the shirt. That's a little blurry, but there you go. I mean, obviously he's a douchebag, but even on him, that shirt looks fantastic. He's about to give that ball away, by the way. There's no question. He's absolutely not getting that ball past that defender who's.
Those some 90s shin pads he's got going on.
Yeah, the shin pads are pretty. Yeah. The shin pads are pretty hefty too. All for well. We'll get into that some other time. Yeah, we'll get into that some other time.
If you want to see some crazy shirts, just get Dave on the show. He has all the shirts around the world. He's messaged me some of the other day. It was crazy.
Oh, the guy from Boston. Yeah. David from Boston. Yeah. He's probably got like 100 or more. He's got them, and he buys them from this Australian place, which I can't remember the name of it, but it's like World Football Kits or something. It's fairly simple. He sent me the link. Yeah, it's amazing that you can get like the like the national team from like Seychelles or someplace. I mean,
He reckons I can get this shirt. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh, that's
yeah,
Pumas.
yeah,
That's
Pumas. Yeah,
sweet.
their
That's a
kids
nice
are
shirt.
always nice.
That's a nice shirt. They have a great look. I love Pumas because they put.
I can always appreciate that they're like the one football team who just puts their logo as the sponsor.
I love that. I love that. I love the fact that exactly, Sally. I love that. I mean, keep in mind now. This is you're in Liverpool, Ray. You're living in Liverpool at the moment, so you're not too far from the Irish, which is
coming about it.
Right, and I like the Irish. But this is the kind of thing that they were wearing. Look at that for a supporter shirt. Look at that beauty. Look at him. Look at that bad boy. That is amazing. What's it? Pennies too.
I would wear that before I wore that jean kit.
No, silly. Come on,
100%. I would wear that.
Oh, you're killing me. You're killing me.
No, that jean shirt is awful. The one thing you can't wear a jean shirt with is jeans.
Of course you can. No, my God, man, this is America. You can wear all the denim you want.
Lee, that Irish '94 away shirt for that World Cup was classic. I had that as a kid.
And I'll tell you,
beautiful.
I was sitting in a bar in New York 2 years later. I moved to New York in 1996 after I graduated college, and there was a guy who walked in a. Ireland beat Italy in that tournament.
Yes, we fucking did. Ray Houghton, a beautiful goal.
Did you say we?
Yeah, my whole family's Irish. I sound English, but my whole family's Irish.
Is that right?
My cousin was Packy Bonner. He was the goalkeeper for Ireland in '94.
Really?
Oh, wow.
More of a distant relative because everybody in Ireland's related. But yes.
Nolan, surname Nolan is an Irish name.
Oh yeah.
I have a picture of this somewhere. Deportivo Cuenca is very real. Yes, I do. No, I'll show it to you in a minute. Now, which one? Okay, so John, let me see. Are you talking? I'm going to pull it up here.
A great team in '94. England didn't qualify for that World Cup. And
that's correct. And neither did
Catholics in England. So the only fucking Catholics in England are the Irish, the Italians, and the Polish. So I went in the next day and we were just beating the fucking Italians. And it was fantastic. It was the greatest day of my life.
Is this the shirt you mean right here?
Yeah, classic.
Yeah, I got to say that's a nice one. I was sitting in a bar in New York, and a guy came in and he had a Celtic shirt on, Celtic Football Club, right? And he had written on it in a black marker, "Potatoes 1, pasta 0," which I thought was kind of funny. In the hoops of it, he'd written "Potatoes 1, pasta 0." So yeah, that's. But yeah, that is a nice one. I do like that one. And when Ireland are in a major tournament, I always support I always support Scotland, Wales, England, and Northern Ireland, and also the Republic as well. All the the proper like Celtic and Anglo-Saxon countries there.
What did you do about it tonight?
Do what?
It's beautiful. It's fantastic.
This?
I love it.
Oh, okay. This the West Ham website had them for a little while, but if you go to the Iron Maiden website, I think they still have
Not the Iron Maiden kit, Lee.
What are you talking about?
The third kit.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. The black kit?
Yeah.
I thought it looked fantastic.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. I thought it looked awesome.
Better without the logo because I've got it without the Betway logo.
Yeah.
Oh, John's got it on right now under his.
I've got to wear it on the street.
There you go.
That kit would look nice with some white pants, if I say so myself. It would look nice with the white shorts.
Now Ken knows what I'm talking about because he's actually that was true. That used to be true. Not anymore. But where did it go? Scott. There you go. Scotland. Ken's Scottish. He knows what I'm talking about. I have a real soft spot for Scotland in both the football and the rugby. Both. I like Scotland actually. I don't like Scottish Premier League football because it's cack.
It's not a thing. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. But I like the national team and I like the national rugby team. But I thought the black kit was fantastic. What's funny is when it came out, I didn't like it. You know what I mean? When I saw it the first time, I was like, eh.
Was it the collar?
But it was the collar. But then I saw it worn on the pitch, and I was like, no, that's nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Solid kit.
And it's nice without the Betway too. You got it without the Betway, right, John?
Yeah, no logo. They should pay me if they want me to advertise for them. So
that's why.
Smart man.
That's what I always said way back at the beginning of the show. I was saying that when I always buy my shirts at the end of the season when they go on sale. So all you get is what's left over. You know what I mean? And the logo ones are always left over. The ones without the advertising are always gone. So I never get the good ones because I'm cheap. But yeah. No, the Ireland shirts were nice. Ireland, how did they beat Italy? But did they go through? John, did they go through the second round in that?
Yeah, they went through and unfortunately had a shocker against Holland, where Bonner, oh God, it was like a shot. I think it was from Bergkamp, actually. It must have been about a 40-yard shot that he parried, and it just kind of fell behind, and they ended up losing that game 2-0. But I remember seeing my uncle on TV that year, and I was like, what's Uncle Dennis doing on TV? And there he was in a fucking hat. He had one of those Australian hats on with the corks that hang off of it. I didn't even know Uncle Den was in the States watching the frigging game, but there he is. He's on TV. So just good memories as a kid.
Now in '94, I was in college, and there were games at the Cotton Bowl in Dallas, and I was in college in Fort Worth, which is like an hour away. So it's not that far. And it was Germany, South Korea, and I can't remember who else. So I had a choice. I was a college student. I had a choice. Either go see a World Cup match or go see the Eagles on their reunion tour. All right. The Eagles, like, Don Henley, Glenn Fry, the Eagles. So, of course, I chose to go see the Eagles on the reunion tour because I couldn't afford both. All right. It was expensive. You know what I mean? It's like $40 for a ticket back. That was a lot of money. So I went to the Eagles, which was an awful, terrible concert at Texas Stadium that I left early. That was one of the worst things I've ever seen. And to this day, I've never seen a World Cup match, so that may not have been the best choice for me.
Could only imagine how awful a stadium or a concert in that stadium would be if the roof if it's not even there. It's like cut off.
It's
the acoustics would not be terrible.
Yeah, there was a whole. No, I saw U2 there when I was a freshman in college, and that was a pretty good show. But they had all the lights and stuff. It was a big production. You know what I mean? But Eagles at Texas Stadium was too big a venue for their kind of music. You want to just chill. You can't. It's not chill. This is one of my favorite football shirts of all time, though. The Dutch 1974, the 1974 Dutch shirt. That should be in the Louvre.
So I looked up best World Cup kits of all time, right? And the first link I clicked on, number 9, is the 1994 USA away jean kit.
Of course. It should be number 2.
Alexi Lawless right there, yeah.
It should be number 2 behind this one because this is probably my favorite of all. I love this. I love
that one. Is on the list too. Actually, it's number 5, 1974 Holland. Yeah,
I love
number 1.
Yeah,
number 1 is drumroll, please.
And I need
1978 Peru. So the kid that they've been wearing forever.
Yeah, I do like it with the sash. I cannot get my. There we go. Okay.
That number 20 was actually really clean, and it's New Zealand of like last World Cup.
Yeah, that's nice. Well, the all black look, like they have the rugby shirts, the All Blacks are. Those are always nice. They always look good. Yeah, they do.
I'll see you later.
All right, yeah. We should all sign off in 2 hours. It's very late at night. It's like Wednesday morning in England for Ray, and God knows what time it is in Australia. Who knows? Anyway,
Saturday morning.
It's Saturday morning. It's Saturday morning here in an hour. So anyway, Ray, thanks for coming on with us. Danny, you were on with us at the very beginning. Sorry your internet crashed. It was good to have you on. It's always good to see you. John in Philadelphia, and of course, my friend Sally, and extremely frequent co-host in Colorado. Thanks for coming on. Hey, listen, fantastic day today. All right, let's all be happy. Yeah. Let's all be excited. There's a bunch of There's a bunch of programs going to be on the network in between now and Wednesday, but we'll be back Wednesday night, 9:00 Eastern. And in the meantime, come on, you Irons. Thanks. There it is. Thanks, everybody in the chat room. We'll see you guys later.